And I'm an artist whose work gets classified by other people as somebody who does hybrid art. That's like what all the like fancy like the people who hopefully fund our projects and stuff like that, they call it hybrid art. So basically, we those of us who fall into this category, we do a lot of projects that go in between disciplines. So it's not like I'm a painter or a sculptor or anything like that. It's just like I work with life and like the fact that there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on, and you know, in like different sectors, and that like this is like a really great time to be alive. We've got a lot of interesting problems going on, and so basically I think of my art as like bringing people together in interesting ways and getting the public involved. So I really love just like working with the public in general and creating like experiences for people. So one of the last project that I did that I've still been kind of working on from time to time, but this one that I'm going to show you today is the main focus, was a project called Drink, Pee, Drink, Pee, Drink, Pee. And it's not necessarily always supposed to make you think about drinking pee, but it's more like you drink and then you pee and then you drink and then you pee. And it is kind of about the fact that our bodies are part of the water cycle, and we don't like really think about that because we're like humans and we live inside these enclosed areas now. And so we go to the toilet and we pee in it and then we flush it, and it just kind of like goes bye-bye and we don't really think about it anymore. But it actually doesn't really go all that far away. When we pee, our pee, it does go, you know, through the pipes and everything, and it goes to the sewage treatment plant where they, you know, put a lot of chemicals into it and try and treat mostly for the poop, actually. They don't like really do anything for the pee. And so the pee basically just kind of like goes through that whole system, and then actually it just gets dumped right out into our waterways, out into the rivers, out into the oceans. And it's actually a huge problem that they've just like really kind of become conscious of, like, because when it gets like out into the ocean, there will be this huge algae bloom, like that, because pee is actually like a really potent fertilizer. And so, and like algae is basically like microscopic plants, right? So all of a sudden there's all of this food in this like batch of water for plants. And so the plant, this like microscopic plant life just grows like crazy, and it sucks all of the oxygen out of the water. And so then you have this big kind of like dead zone where no other organisms can live within the water. And so that's like a really big kind of environmental problem that we've just become conscious of. And like you guys might have heard of like red tide and stuff in Florida if you've been down there, and that's an example of this problem. The other part of it is that our pee has like pharmaceuticals in it, like drugs that we've taken, like illegal drugs that you've taken. Like we usually only process, like our bodies only process like 20% of it, so 80% of all of that stuff, like if you're on any kind of medications or anything, that is also going out and getting into like all of the fishes and everything like that. And if you can think of what it does to us, what does it do to those species out in the water? We're now starting to see that that's actually a problem. We're like mutating other species with our medication. And sometimes that same pharmaceuticals, they've been doing testing on our drinking water all over the world and finding that there are traces of all of these things, everything from like cocaine to like blood thinners that your grandpa takes to make his heart better, to like, you know, like mood altering drugs.